Hello everybody, my name is Victoria and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe. I do motherhood and lifestyle videos on a regularly-ish week basis. And I'm expecting my first daughter in October, November time, so stick around because we got a whole lot coming. Today I wanted to talk everybody's favorite topic when it comes to babies, and that is baby names. I mean, it's obviously endless and it's insane to try and have to pick a human being's name. So what I wanted to go over today was the names that we love but aren't going to be using for this baby. I'm going to be talking boy and girl because I think because it's a girl, that's such a narrow avenue to try and go down. So I wanted to broaden the spectrum and talk about girl and boy names because I just love baby names so much, and I know that everybody else does too. So let's get into it. The first girl name that we ever thought we were going to name our daughter Kaden was Sawyer. Love that name, and if we have another daughter we might end up naming her Sawyer because it's just such a cool hipster badass kind of name for a little girl. And we're gonna name her Sawyer Elise Dawn, and the middle names are the same for Kaden, it's just Sawyer. The second name that we had discussed was Carter, and I think that this is such a cool unique name for a girl as well. I don't like it for a boy, but I love it for a girl, and it's super weird. I don't know why. I just think different names, such as boy names for girls, is so unique and so different and really puts a spin on the personality of the kid, and they kind of become their names. I think she'd just be like this tough little rocket of a thing, and it would be so cool to see a Carter be a Carter as a girl. But Chris doesn't love that name, so I don't even know if we'll ever use it again if we do have another girl. I have no clue. The third name I really like is Selena, and I think it's so pretty. I think that there's so many different ways to spell it, and I like unique spellings of things. Not too different so that people are lost on how to spell it, but different unique ways that you can spell it that aren't too complicated. As well as the name Alesia, I think that it's so pretty. I heard it for the first time in a human other than Alessia Cara in the Saucony Jolies. If you guys don't follow them, they're a YouTube family on here as well. But they do daily vlogs and stuff, and their third daughter's name is Alesia, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I love that name, it's so pretty. But it's just, as soon as you say Alesia, people think Cara, people think singer, people think whatever they think, and I don't love it enough to name my kid that, but I think it's such a beautiful name. I am a humongous fan of Grey's Anatomy, so the name Meredith was no shortage on my list. I think it's really pretty and really different and really unique. We might use it. I haven't even tried to really discuss it with Chris, but I love the name and I think it's so pretty, and it's different from Kaden. Like, it would be so like Kaden and Meredith, you'd be kind of like, what's going on there? Because like one's really old and vintage and one's kind of current and new, so it would be kind of complicated and weird if we did use it, which makes me doubt that we will. Just like longer, there's like Mare that you could use for a short form, and it's just so pretty. I think it's just like this classic timeless name. The last name that is on the girls list is the name Kennedy. I love this name, but we won't be naming any of our kids Kennedy because of our last name, or my soon-to-be last name, which is Hendry. And so using names that end in a Y, which you'll see in the boys list, is just not something that's really possible or would sound right or sound normal. I know that Charles Trippy, if you guys have ever heard of him, he's another YouTuber on here. He just had a daughter and named her Remy, and his last name is Trippy. And I think Remy Trippy honestly doesn't sound great. It doesn't sound good. It just sounds kind of flunked together. Like, the first name is really cool and so is the second, but together it's just kind of weird. So Kennedy Hendry, I don't think it sounds good. I don't think it rolls off the tongue. I don't think it makes much sense to do a Y and a Y, and that's why we won't be using that name, unfortunately. On to the boys list. The first place that I ever heard this name was in Tangled, and that is Flynn. When you hear Flynn Rider, you think that's super cool. And then the second place that I found it was on Colleen Ballinger. She had a son recently, 8 months ago, and named him Flynn. And I just think it's the coolest little boy name ever. But Chris hates it. I don't know why, he's just not a fan of the name, so we won't be using it. But Flynn, is so cool. I like it spelled FLYNN. It's just really unique, and I wish we could use it for our future boys, but we just can't. The second name on the boys list is Justin. Now I know what you're probably thinking, like all these unique, cool, pretty, different names, and then you're gonna pop in the name Justin. I don't know what it is about that name, but I just think it's so cool. I think that if you had a middle name that started with C or P or anything like that, you could short form it to JC or JP and it would just be cool. I just think it's such a like boyish, tough name, and I really like it. And I don't think Chris loves it. I don't think he's completely closed off to the name, but I don't think we'll be using it on any of our kids, just because you gotta love it and you gotta both agree on it. The third boy name that I love and I'm so sad that we can't use is Finley. And I just think it's Finley, like it's so cool. It's so different. Nobody has it. I don't know where I found this name or where I even thought of it, but I just think it's such a cool name. It could even work for a girl like Finley Hendry, but again, the Y's. You can't do the Y's for both names. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't sound good. And it's not something that I want to do. But I do love the name Finley, and I just, Another name that we might be using is the name TRIPP. Now, I heard this name on, I think, Teen Mom, when Bristol Palin was on there, and her first son's name is TRIPP. I think it's really cool and really simple, but it's also like one of those names that you just say it and it's done and over with. Whereas I like a name that kind of lasts, if that makes any sense. So the name TRIPP is just too quick and too like to name. I don't know. I don't think we would have named our son TRIPP if we had been having a boy this time around. I have two more names on the boys' names. The first one is Nolan, and the reason I don't want to use this name probably in the future is just because I know too many Nolans. It's becoming a lot more of a popular name, but I like it. I liked it when it wasn't popular, and I wish it still wasn't, kind of like the name Caden isn't. I've definitely heard the name Caden, but it's few and far between. But with Nolan, I just think it's becoming a lot more used, and that makes me not want to use it because I like names that aren't used all that often. And the last name on the boys list is Rowan. I think this is such a cool name. I think it slides off the tongue, it lasts, like it flows. Rowan Hendry doesn't sound all that bad, I don't think. I don't know what his middle names would be or anything like that, but I think that Rowan is such a cute and also tough and boyish name. So hopefully maybe we'll use it in the future, but obviously not for this baby because it's a girl and she already has a name. If any of your names are a part of this list, be sure to comment down below. I'll be definitely interested. Or if you have kids that are like with any of these names, that would be super cool. If you have any other cool, unique names that you'd like to discuss, I would love to hear them. I plan on having a few more children after this one, so feel free to leave them in the comments below and I will go through the plethora of them because I love baby names. If you liked any of these names on the list, be sure to comment the ones you did like below and give it a great big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. I make weekly motherhood and lifestyle videos, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!